Think about the last time your teenager hit you with a whatever. Maybe you were sharing important wisdom about driving safely or trying to help them avoid a friendship disaster you could totally see coming. When a teenager says whatever, it can totally feel like a wall is going up between you, right? Well, today I'm going to share some fascinating science about teenage resistance that might change how you feel about whatever. Parents tell me all the time that they're worried because their teenager rejects every piece of advice with a whatever. But here's something fascinating. If your teenager didn't reject your advice, that would actually be more terrifying. Think about it. A teenager who believed everything someone told them would be like a computer with no firewall, vulnerable to every virus that comes along. They would have no defense against manipulation, no resistance to peer pressure, and no ability to think independently. So that whatever you keep hearing is actually a sign that your teen's brain is developing exactly as it should. And once we understand why teens need to actually resist us sometimes, something fascinating emerges about how these mental defenses actually work. Evolution gave teenagers powerful mental defenses for a reason. When your teen says whatever, that's not attitude, that's their mental immune system working exactly as it should be. Just imagine a teenager with no mental defenses. They would trust everything their friends told them. They'd believe every sketchy social media post, and they'd cave to every moment of peer pressure. That resistance that drives you crazy is actually protecting your teenager from being that vulnerable out in the world. Now, here's where this gets really interesting because your teen's brain actually has 5 different types of whatever, and they each serve a different purpose in teenage development. Let's start with the one parents notice most frequently. Have you ever tried to make a simple comment about your teenager's friends or their music or even their hair and been hit with a whatever, you don't even know them, whatever, you just don't get it, whatever, that's just my style? This isn't just teenage attitude. This is your teen's brain protecting their emerging identity. Every time your teenager defends their choices against your input, they're practicing something really important, standing firm in who they are, even under pressure from people they love. And so that's the first type of whatever we're looking at, the protection of their emerging identity. Now, let's take a look at number 2. Here's a moment every parent of a teenager has probably experienced. Your 15-year-old has a huge project due first thing Monday morning. It's Friday afternoon. You can already picture the disaster coming this weekend, but when you try to make some suggestions about, hey, you should really get started now, or hey, let's get a jump on this, you get hit with, whatever, I work better under pressure. Whatever, I know what I'm doing. Whatever, it's my grade. This is actually your teen defending their right to do things their way. And it's really important. In that moment, they're practicing a skill that they're going to need later in life, like when someone suggests drinking and driving or doing something really dangerous. So those are 2 types of whatever you might hear from your teenager, protecting their identity, protecting their choices, their ability to do things their way. Now, here's the 3rd type of whatever you might encounter also. Every parent knows this heartbreaking moment. Your teen comes home, they're clearly upset. You can practically see the storm cloud hanging over their head. You have the perfect advice that you know would make a difference, but they won't listen to you. Whatever, I'm fine. Whatever, it's not a big deal. Whatever, just leave me alone. This might feel like rejection, but your teenager is actually doing something really important here. Just like a caterpillar needs to get inside their cocoon before they can emerge as a butterfly, your teen also needs to spend some time processing their own emotions. In order to develop emotional resilience, they have to wrestle with some of these hard feelings on their own. And so that whatever you're hearing is actually their way of building critical coping skills. Okay, so there's 3 types of whatever: protecting their identity, protecting their decisions, and protecting their emotions. Now, let's look at the 4th. Something strange happens when you try to share important life wisdom with your teenager. It could be something that you know will really benefit them right now, but regardless, you're still going to get the same response. Whatever, I already know this. Whatever, that's so obvious. Whatever, I don't need a lecture. This is your teen's mental spam filter in action. This is their brain saying, hold on, I need to actually test this idea out for myself and make sure it's true before I accept it. The same filter that blocks out your good advice today is also what's going to help your teen to resist manipulation later on. So every time they question your input, they're actually building their critical thinking skills. Okay, so there's whatever to protect their identity, whatever to protect their choices, whatever to protect their emotions, and whatever to protect their ideas. So that's 4 types of whatever. Now there's one final type left. You're trying to help your teenager improve in some way, offer them a better way to study, a better way to talk to their friends, maybe a better way to practice for their sports team. Instead of being grateful and thanking you for your input, you get whatever, I like how I am. Whatever, my way works fine. Whatever, I don't need to change. This might seem worrisome as a parent, but actually something really important is going on here. As your teen grows and develops, they need to have a healthy sense of self-esteem. To grow into a strong adult, sometimes your teen needs to be able to say, no, this is who I am and I'm okay with this, even to people they love. It might not feel good when it's happening to you, but it's an important part of them developing their own identity. It can feel like a slap in the face as a parent when your teenager says whatever and ignores your advice. But let's actually think about what's important to you in terms of your teenager's growth. You want your teen to stand firm against peer pressure. You want them to think independently. You want them to handle emotions maturely. You want them to resist manipulation. And you want them to know who they are. Here's the amazing thing, that whatever that drives you so crazy is actually helping your teen to develop in all of these important ways. Your teen's mental defenses aren't your enemy. They're your ally in developing a strong, critical thinking, independent adult. Your job isn't to break through these defenses, it's to help your teen learn how to use them wisely. Because a teen who can say whatever to their parents' good advice today is a teen who can say whatever to a bad influence tomorrow. Hopefully you found this helpful. If these ideas resonated with you at all, please like, subscribe to our channel, and listen every week to the Talking to Teens podcast. I'll see you in the next video.